Okay. So let's check what do you already have. See, full stack training, ls minus s. Okay, git status. Okay. I'm removing everything what I did another day. Just I'm seeing git status. So nothing is there in my local. I mean, my local directory is clean. Let's look at git status. So I'm here. Okay. Now, not sure. Git fetch minus v minus minus cron origin. This is to check the status of the remote repository. And you see, right? You guys have created new branches, one for Abhi, one for Arun. And okay, I'll take the Abhi's branch, git checkout Abhi. So now I should get all the latest changes that you made on the Abhi branch. So now here, okay. So now I'm going to take over your branch and see full stack web app. Okay, full stack web app. Okay. So now whatever the settings that you do here, you have form.xml. I'm doing Maven clean package. Okay, the build is successful from your branch. Now let's look at how this was. So let's see. Refresh. Importing it back. Training. Okay. So now I have all your package with me, all your code with me. Let's see on what you do. Java resources, libraries. So still you are at 1.6. So you need
one question I forgot to ask. So I changed it to 1.8, but whenever I open the code, it is changing back to 1.6. So I refer to the effective POM, and there the source and target is mentioned as 1.6, I guess. So I tried to change that, but it wasn't. I mean, I was not able to update those values.
Oh, I see. Okay, 1 minute then. So here, when I see git status, no changes here, right? So my whatever the change that you made on remote, I have the latest one. So now, let's say you go and right click and to build path properties, and then a build path and libraries. I'm going to add library, and then I'm adding 1.8. and then deleting 1.6. Apply. Now it is pointing to 1.8. Whenever this happens, because this is Eclipse setting, right, the settings will change. So these settings you need to commit along with the change. Now I'm saying, git commit -am. JDK pointed to 1.8. So now you look at it here in the here. So now I made the change on this. So now you can see here Eclipse internal debug and blah 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 and this coming, right? So now what we can do is I can push this change to the remove mode. Now you fetch you fetch and rebase your branch with my change. That should solve the problem. Then you don't need to do anything each time. You don't need to change in Eclipse settings. Once you make change, the change should be there permanently.
Okay.
Okay, that is one change. And now let's look at what do you do. So generally, when you do, you should not do something like underscores in the package names. Whenever you create, you should not create package names or something like this. Yeah, because that is not the standard practice. You have to create something like this. There is no web app or anything like that. So ideally, you need to create something like. So you are having COM full stack. Suppose if it is a training project, then you can say training or something like that. So, okay, so I'll keep COM and full stack. So this is how typical project structure package structure should be. So whenever you get an error and you press Control and 1, then it will suggest you what are all the possible options in Eclipse. So now first one, you just move on it and it says move to the package com.fullstack. I'm saying yes. I just enter. Automatically, you will see here com.fullstack. Underneath, you will have private application.
Okay. Yeah.
Similarly, go here, and then I'm just removing this underscore. That's all. Okay, so now it's much better. That's
and automatically the previous package will be deleted.
Yeah. Okay. No, sometimes may not be. You need to make sure and whenever you are doing. So here, right? See this one. This package is not deleted. Still there, but it's an empty package.
Okay.
So you have to manually delete that.
Okay. Yeah.
So now source main com full stack is there and then controller. So now that's it. And similarly, you might have done for testing also. Let's see.
I haven't done anything for testing.
Okay, that's fine. Don't bother about it. So now, once you are done with this change, what did you do in the prior? You just did a Spring Boot, and this is good. I mean, this is how once the project is set up. What you have to do is, this all project is created just like when you are setting up a Maven project on the Eclipse. So now, the first step that you need to do is, something like this: add a Java file. So where you just need to annotate as Spring Boot application. This is a Java annotation. Wherever you see @ that means it's a Java annotation. So you're making this class as a Java annotation Spring Boot application. Automatically this will become a Spring Boot. And then to start any application, you require the main method. So Spring Boot requires this main method. That's what we did here. And passing the same class name here. So now, and then this one, right? So I just change, I'm just changing the class name. Landing controller. So that means it's the first page, first controller for that application. Okay. So now when you do something like this, what we are doing, we have created a simple controller and then we are annotating it as a @ controller. That means automatically this class will become a controller class. So the Spring Frameworks is divided into three layers: model, view, controller. So this is one of that one, controller. So now request mapping. Whenever localhost colon 8080 slash, that means then it will come. Spring will automatically detect your URL from the browser, and Spring will determine which method to be called based on the relative path. So, and your request will come here, and whatever you have mentioned here within this method will be executed. So now home. What is home? To do that, what you have to do is you need to because we from this method we wanted to redirect to home.jsp page. That is the first page. That's what we are planning to do. To do that, we have to go to the source, main, Java, and then web app, JSP. You did the home.jsp, yes. So now, yeah, you did something like this. Yeah, this is pretty good. So once you create the home.jsp, and we need to go to the source main resources, and then application properties. Okay, and then you have mentioned, yeah, everything properly. That's it. So now now let's look at this. This is how you can configure. Now what we are doing here, Spring will read all the properties when the application is loaded into Tomcat, and it will resolve all these property values that you give. So now what happens is whenever home in landing, then Spring will understand, go to .jsp folder under web app /JSP. That's what a folder structure is, and pick up home with .jsp extension. So this here only one file with .jsp extension. Spring will pick up that file and delivers that file back to the UI, meaning browser. That's how the route will happen. Whenever you hit URL from browser, the execution starts from here, comes here, look at the home, and figure out the application properties. What is the extension? Okay, .jsp. So the file should be home.jsp. And where is the location? At this location. So it goes to that location and figures out home.jsp and sends the content of home.jsp, whatever the content of home.jsp, back to the browser. So that's the typical workflow from browser to the controller and then back to the browser. So now, it's not
one question over here.
Yeah.
So if we have multiple controllers and for each controller we have request mapping, then how to determine which page it will render first?
So each time, I mean, if you are having multiple, either multiple controllers or multiple request mapping, doesn't matter. Let's say if you want to do multiple situations, just do something like this. You write, I am saying welcome main, some other page. So now this mappings, whatever you are giving inside, should be unique across the application. If you give something like this, it won't compile. I mean, it will compile, but whenever the application is booted up by Spring Framework, it will throw an exception. So the IDs, each request map ID should be different. So when you say something like this main, in the browser, when you say localhost colon 8080/main, this method will be picked up based on this identifier. So these identifiers cannot be duplicated across the application. Now here you can say home.jsp, main.jsp, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So that's how you can segregate different workflows.
Okay.
But the thing is that if we add in this, each time if we add it, it considers JSP file, right?
So yeah, I mean, if you want to different page, you have to add a different JSP page here, and then configure within your controller method.
Yeah. Okay. Like we can't add other than JSP page in this.
You can do many other things. I'll explain you going forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is this recording?
Pardon me?
Yeah. Okay. Is this recording?
Yeah, I think so. It's recording. Yeah. I think I did start, right? Yeah, it started, yeah. Okay. So now, so this is the minimum setup that we did. So still, it's not enough to launch the application. So let's go and look at the pom.xml, how the dependencies we are set up. So now, if you see here, nothing is there, just a booter parent and then web. I mean, only two things. So to compile JSP and comes back, we need to add few more dependencies into pom.xml. So let me check the dependencies first, and I'll pick up from my other project. Spring Boot. Yeah, okay. So what we have to do is we need to take these two dependencies. So now that's what I'm going to add here. So JSTL dependency to parse the JSP page, and Tomcat dependency I'm adding so that whenever I run a command, Spring Boot automatically launches Tomcat and deploys the application. So right now you might have been copying WAR file go to the Tomcat web app and copying the WAR file and doing that. So by adding this, Tomcat will be automatically embedded with this your package, and then you don't need to manually deploy into the Tomcat server. Either you don't even manually install Tomcat separately. So by adding this dependency, Tomcat will be automatically added to your project. So that's the purpose of this. So let's see how this works. Okay, let's say Eclipse is building it. Okay, now done. So now let's go back here and to the terminal, aware pom.xml, and you type in mvn. Yeah. So what I'm doing here, Maven clean package and then spring-boot : run. That means what it does is Maven builds the application and then Spring Boot picks up and runs the application. Now you can see the detailed steps that this command does. So now what it's doing is it's going through the build process. So it's building everything and then starting the Spring Boot application. Now you can see, application is started. So by looking at this last line, that means all your build is went successful and application is started with Tomcat. This is all the Tomcat log. That's what you are seeing here. So now let's go back and see what it does. I'm doing only localhost : 8080. So now you see there is a error happening here. Framework dispatch servlet initialized. Oh, this is what I stopped the other day, I guess. But let's troubleshoot this. No problem. Type not found. Status not found. So that means we might be missing some more steps. Let's look at that. A1 Okay, I'm back. Let's see. So now I am looking at so I added properly all these things. And then this is to run the build with 1.8 version here. You see here, right? So I'll add that too, but that should not make any difference. Let's see. run. Why it is still complaining? Okay, yeah, okay, it's done. Let's see. I'm not anticipating this will change, but still I am running the application and see. So here you can see, right, Tomcat is started on port number 8080. So that's what in the browser we are typing localhost. Localhost means the current machine, and the port number is 8080. See, nothing has changed. Okay, now let's see what I'm missing. We did the war file only, right? You might have done only, yeah, war file and everything, right? Okay, this is all it is.
Do we need to add any plugins?
No, you don't need to add any plugins. Spring Boot does take care of everything.
Okay.
So that's why I got it out and, kind of trying to see what went wrong. Only this one, right? Yeah, right. Application properties, yeah, we did only the same thing. No difference here. And then resources is right. And then main. File application.java. Is there anything messed up? Spring Boot application, and yeah, nothing wrong there either. And then landing controller. We'll see what type of landing controller I have added. Yeah. So I guess you might be done the same thing. Controller, request mapping, and welcome. Yeah, it's all same. I mean, I don't see any change. What the hell? Where is going wrong? That's different. Okay, we'll see. So it's all coming in. There was an unexpected. No message available. Even I don't get any error on the Tomcat. I'll rerun it. Okay, so what I can do is I need to configure logger to see what is going wrong, because we are having the problem and we could not do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm adding this logger configuration. This will help to debug what is happening with the application. So, I mean, whenever you have a problem, something like this, a real-time execution, you need the logger. Now, here I'm configuring logging level at error and, some com.5 or higher. So, you might be using com.full stack. Okay, so now I'm keeping the same thing, debug, and I want to see whether really whenever localhost colon we are doing, is it coming into the welcome page or not. So to do that, I'm just keeping the print statement 111 and see whether this comes into, the execution comes to this method. Okay. Okay, so I'm rebuilding the application again. Now you see, it should print more statement. Okay, not yet. We'll see. So, okay. So I see that it is coming on to 111. That means it is picking up the method, but it is not returning properly back. How? So is that the same page you mentioned? Full stack.
If you try like home.jsp.
No, you don't need to, because that's the purpose of adding this .js.
Yeah.
I don't see that you need to do that. And let's see, you may have generated this automatic. I'll see anything. I don't think it's a problem with the home.jsp either. I'm just trying to copy from the home.jsp, whatever. I mean, nothing is great here. So I'm copying the same thing. I don't anticipate any change with this also. Now, so it's coming here, home only. Yeah, you're doing the right thing. I'll search this in a Google and see. Okay, there might be something I missed. Okay, let's see. Okay, this portion I might have missed. Yeah, this should be it. So, in the form.xml, I am adding additional one to build the application using Spring Boot Maven plugin. This part.
There's Docker. Okay.
I'll remove that. I mean, you don't need this plugin because this is for Docker and containers. This is not for a plain Spring Boot application. So now I'm keeping the you see Spring Boot Maven plugin whenever the build happens. So we need to keep this one. This is what I'm going to be missing. That's it. Excuse me. Okay, now it's rebooted. Let's see. Oh, still not solved. I thought this should solve it. Oh God. I'm not doing anything specific here. Spring Boot Starter Web. You have the Spring Boot Starter Web. Spring Boot Starter Web is there. How many dependencies I have added? Web, JSTL, and Tomcat. Web, JSTL, Tomcat, embedded Asper. Yep. I don't know what is going wrong.
I think he mentioned component scan, the base package class. Component scan, @component scan.
You don't need to do that ideally, because whatever this one I'm the project that I'm referring, right? This is all a working project.
Okay.
So here I did not mention anything like that. I don't think I mentioned anything there. Yeah, same thing we did. Controller and mapping. Yeah, it's quite confusing. The only thing it's coming there. I mean, I see it, right? I mean, the print is coming, and this is not going out. Debug. I'm keeping in debug mode. Oh no, it will throw too much. Okay, let me Google it. I mean, I don't think I don't have any answer. No, not this one. Web, I don't know. You did not keep that? Web. Oh, JSP straight. It might be very simple, silly mistake. I don't anticipate any major mistake for this.
Yeah.
JSP JS /JSP/.
For request mapping, do we have to mention value equal to /
No, you don't need to, because either value equal to you can say, either you can directly say something like this. Both will work. That's why, because this is working. So the problem here is it is coming onto here. While returning, it is not able to figure out what is wrong. So somewhere the JSP configuration, return configuration is not matching. So, but this is a Spring Boot. Okay, that's just something. Something there might be smaller one. It will be very painful. Spring Boot JSP configuration. I'm doing just experiment. I'm not quite sure what the problem is.
Okay.
Now I added the bootstrap of Tomcat. Let's see. Wow. No, it's not anything special. He also does the same thing what we did. So I'll fix this problem. I don't know. I mean, because I don't have anything an idea. Ideally, it should work because I did this configuration 10 different times.
Okay.
Okay, I will troubleshoot this and tell you what the change is to be done.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll do and I'll ping you and let you know, or